Hello, hello, everybody. Hi, how is everyone today? Happy Martin Luther King Day. Happy Create Peace Day. If you can type in the chat, let me know that you can see me. Oh, we'll pump up the light here. I'm pretty sure you can see me. Can you hear me? Is all the sound? It looks like the sound should be good. Hello, Chrissy or Chris, Christina, Candy, Joanna. Hello, hello. Okay, great. Awesome. Hi, Liz. Hi, Abby. Good morning, everybody. And if you're watching the replay down the road, thank you for being here. Oh, Bridget, hello from Germany. Davy, Wendy, Laura. Hi, everybody. Oh, okay. This is exciting. Oh, great. Thank you, Joanna. Hi, Katya. Beautiful. I am really looking forward to this. Look at, there's like art supplies everywhere. I've already been getting into it this morning. I did make sort of a schedule. You can look at the schedule on my Instagram, which is at Whitney Freya, if you're a schedule girl. Hi, Candace. Hi, Sharon. If you're a schedule girl, you can go there, or man, goddess and god, goddess, whatever. Earthling, if you are an earthling who likes schedules, just go to Whitney Freya, at Whitney Freya on Instagram, and I posted the schedule right there in my feed. We have the idea, we'll see how it works out, but the idea is to kind of shift from different projects, prompts every 30 minutes. You are totally welcome to be painting, creating, whatever is on your artist table, kitchen table right now, or follow along. You may end up coming back to this. This live stream will be here, for, I guess, forever, as long as YouTube is here. So you can always revisit. And we're going to start. I'm starting with this canvas, and I will share a little bit about this canvas in a second. Now, I just want to take a moment for my own sake, as much as anything else, to just kind of slow down and kind of set the tone, the mood for today. Hi, Maria. Hi from sunny Florida, OM. So my motivation for doing this was to create an opportunity for us to really viscerally understand, as well as myself, the choice that we always have in each and every moment as to where we send our focus, our attention. We've all probably heard, what you focus on expands. The wolf you feed is the one that wins. The first law of the universe, mentalism, thoughts become things. And so I'm choosing to look at this period of time that we're in right now as like a master class in the true nature of creativity, which I do believe is to create the art that is our life and to create it consciously from the inside out. To remember that we don't have to allow the external world to have more creative power over our reality than we do. And I want to illustrate this with our journal entry that I did this morning as I was exploring my brand new acrylic inks, which are going to be super fun on the, I think it's almost dry, the Yupo paper. But this symbol here, this round kind of geometric looking symbol, is a torus, or the toroidal field. Okay, so this is symbolic of the energy that is around each of you and myself, around the planet. It's the kind of the north-south poles. It's the flow of energy. I just met an amazing man named Joel Schaefer, who studied in the Carlos Castaneda School, and they talk about the luminous cocoon that we all have around us. And this symbol I was drawing days ago. The torus isn't the easiest symbol to have for the year as far as just drawing it, but I was practicing. And then today I just opened up the page and decided to play with the acrylic inks on this watercolor paper, this moleskin watercolor journal. And it behaves a lot like watercolor, very rich watercolor. But I want to point out the life art lesson that I got just this morning, just practicing with the mediums. So I drew my kind of typical swirly, uh, fun, playful marks, right? And then I started pulling it into the torus. And at some point, it hit me how biographical this feels, at least for me, maybe for you. Let me know if it does for you. So, what this made me think of is just the frenetic energy in the external world, which is nothing new, right? Because fear sells, right? The media is a business. And so they've learned that the scary things, the tragedies, all that is what gets people turning on the news. So we're constantly bombarded with it. Most of you know who are in my world and my palette that I don't believe in victims. Art has to have contrast. We learn best through contrast. So it's part of the landscape that we've been offered for optimal learning down here in our school. So this frenetic energy wants to be brought into your field and organized. It wants you to take the frenetic, unpeaceful energy that you encounter and create it, shift it, reframe it, and bring it into resonance with your truth. Okay, the current events, the news headlines are very seldom truth, except for the fact that they are creating this opportunity for us to reclaim our own inner creative power, the creative being that you are. This is why, again, no victims, but think about how the arts have been kind of swept under the rug or traditionally the first thing taken out of school, because creative thinkers that aren't controllable, right, are harder to control. So what I want to suggest, and I'm going to reiterate this as much as possible over the next 3 hours, like if you take nothing else away from this, besides fun creative prompts, remember that whatever frenetic energy you tap into, whatever gets you feeling angry or scared or upset or confused, or we know the full spectrum of emotions, right? Whatever triggers that, I want you to ask yourself, is this something that I am going to allow to inspire me to create change or not? We can't solve all the problems in the world, right? Like we can't all run around doing, solving all the problems, creating change in all the different areas. Where are you going to be the change you want to see in the world? And that lane that you're going to pick, that color, that song that you're going to pick, is probably going to be the one that gets you the most frenetic, angry, afraid, dot, 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 dot. Right? In the Green Tara course, the 22-day Tara painting meditation course that I know a lot of you have taken. Hi, Maggie. Tara has a lot of the destructive aspects. She's there to slay the demons. And one of the first aspects of Tara that we explore reminds us that anger is meant to catalyze us into action. The anger is not meant to be invited in to the studio and let's, like sit down and have a cup of tea with anger and stay in anger. The anger is meant to point us in the direction of where we want to focus because we learn best through contrast, right? So whatever makes you angry, allow it to align with who you are and what is important to you and your values and the change you want to be in the world, and create solutions, create peace, create harmony, right? Don't allow yourself to stay in anger and fear. It's a choice. I'm not saying it's easy not to stay there. And again, master class coming up, starts today, right? So that is a theme we are going to continue to express when you think about it. And so what I do is always bring it back to the canvas, right? So when something that you're painting is like, that doesn't feel right. I don't love that. So I'm going to change it. You don't see something on the canvas that you don't like and think, oh, I'm going to make that even worse. Right? Hi, Gail. That's what I love about this painting practice is that without having to get into the dumpster, as I remember a friend talking about dumpster diving, without having to get in and wrestle around with the negativity, the fear, everything that's going on, I can allow it to point me in the direction of what I want, just like it happens at the canvas. And when I'm feeling the most confused, frustrated, angry, I go to the canvas because it always echoes back to me truth. It mirrors back to me truth. So when we get angry at the canvas, when we get afraid we made a mistake, we don't continue down the road of like, I'm going to make this even worse. I'm going to keep making that mistake, right? It's like, oh, I want this to be lighter. I want this to be darker. I want this to be bigger. I want to repeat this. I want to paint over that. We create the change. Whatever doesn't light us up inspires change. This is what fired me up so much almost 29 years ago when I started learning how to paint at my art center, realizing all these connections between life and art. Okay. Hi, everybody. Say hello. All right. We've got 72 people on here. Yeah. All of us focusing on creativity. So I'm starting on this canvas. So this canvas is a large canvas. It's actually, I'll show you. If any of you have seen my bear, so bear is down here. You can see there's a bear foot right there. So bear I painted last year, processing the passing of my dad and a lesson that he and I were learning together. And this big canvas has become what I call my creative frequency canvas. So it's where I go to get into the creative mindset, the creative energy. Hi, Sheila. Hello from Tennessee. Because when we engage with our creative spirits, our creative frequency, we carry that into the rest of our day. So I often start the day here. And I'm telling you, okay, wait, everything's flipped on here. Fluorescent pink, many of you know this. Painting with fluorescent pink in the morning, oh my gosh, if you're low energy, I want to prescribe fluorescent pink in the morning to you. I am prescribing color today. So this canvas is one I am dedicating to Matangi, who is the dark goddess of creativity and artists and mystics. She is the dark side, the shadowy side of Saraswati. And what does that mean? Matangi doesn't care about the rules. She wants you to break the rules. So for all of us good girls, right, who wanted the gold star by our name and all that, Matangi is the one to illuminate your shadow, which is the source of your greatest power. Right? What did Eleanor Roosevelt say? Women who don't break the rules don't make history or something like that. So this is the mandala, the yantra for Matangi, and she lives in the jungle. So this is why I'm painting these big kind of tropical leaves, which are so freaking fun to paint. And down here, we've got meditating Matangi surrounded by papayas, of course, because one morning I was just like, must paint papayas. And so we don't ask, but they're kind of feel very divine feminine, don't they? And I think this little meditating Matangi, who was inspired by paint, I also got painted like a rainbow by my friend Melissa Lucia on this canvas. And so where you can see my footprints here, you see the footprints right here. So those swirls spoke to me of meditating Matangi. Okay, I'll stop. I'm probably making you dizzy. So that's what this canvas is about. So this is calling in my fierce, creative, mystical self. And she is good medicine right now. So whatever you are painting for the next 15 minutes, I mean, I'm sure I'll be chit-chatting. And if you have any questions or want to share, what are you painting right now? So I'm painting tropical leaves. And I'm choosing to understand that tropical leaves are symbols of, for me, it feels like abundance and growth and this lushness, the Mother Earth. Mother Earth really wants to support us right now. So, what are you painting right now? Right? The papaya. Oh my gosh. So, I am about to go to Colombia. And there are going to be amazing papayas here. So, this first leaf I'm painting, you can kind of, it's this, I'm painting like this one. All you green thumbers, I can never remember. Okay, Gail's going to paint papaya and tropical leaves too. Okay. So I'm getting you all, and actually going to bed last night, I had some insight, but I do believe we are going to be getting some information soon about something new about color. I think color, well, we know color, we know there's color therapy, we know there's color, all the things, but last night I was going to bed imagining that like indigo, purple, magenta, kind of like violet flame, just activating the water in my body. So I do believe there is something to color that, you know, it's like take your vitamin C, take your fluorescent pink. Actually, I have had a little bit of a cold here and there that is gone. Okay. So we'll see. The other thing about this creative practice is that whoa, there's the stem here. Well, okay, we're changing the stem. It doesn't demand perfection. Okay. And even like showing up on here and painting in front of you all, I get a little like, you know, nervous, or are they gonna want to paint with me for 3 hours? But the gift that's being offered here has very little to do with actual painting technique. It's the act of creating. That is the medicine. It is the truth that as you create and focus on what you want, which you could do sitting in a chair, I just always get distracted. But when I go to the canvas, it's much easier to separate from that busy, busy mind. I'm going to get into the green so we can see these leaves. And the frequency of my thoughts changes. And because I'm creating and I'm doing so with the intention of supporting the art that is my life, I get thoughts running through my head. Instead of fear, they're of possibility. They're aligned with what if? And what can I do with this? And what is this teaching me? What is this offering? And I always leave the canvas with new ideas, new insights, new perspectives. Many of you, my creatively fit creative frequency coaches in here, yes, thank you, know that I love to remind you that the next time something really ticks you off, or when you're really feeling really down or really angry, I mean, I don't wish that on you. And I'm just thinking, fellow earthling, that might happen every once in a while. And next time you do, I want to invite you to get out whatever colors, whatever you're making your mark with these days, and just play with color. And then get curious how long it takes for you to feel that frenetic energy, that anger, that frustration melt away. And what I observe is that I come back into alignment with truth. Either whatever has me ticked off is not worth it, is not something I can control or do anything about, or perhaps I start feeling compassion, right? Understanding everyone's on their own journey. I do believe everyone wants to feel safe, secure, and loved. And a lot of people weren't taught. And we all forget. We're all human. We're all earthlings. We're imperfect. And it reminds me to just focus on what I can control. Okay, so we're getting a tropical leaf. What is everybody else creating, painting? What symbols are lighting you up these days? I've got a hair in my paint. Okay. We'll just try and get rid of that. What's everybody else painting? A tall cypress tree. So the fact that it's tall, Anita, is that offering you a higher perspective on something, right? Ooh, these, you got to put the little circles in these plants, the leaves. It's one of my favorite parts, the portals in the leaves, the openings that let the light through. Which, look, I already have some in here. So, okay, so with acrylic, we remember that we can paint over just about anything. Whoops. Okay. So I want to paint some of these little circles in here, because I really love those. I have one of these plants in my living room. I almost thought I'd bring it in, but there's a lot of stuff in here. Roses. Okay, lots of unalomes and lotus petals. Mandala, portal to transform anger. Yes. Yes. Awesome. And I'm posting in there. I have a free course if you all are new and want to explore this painting practice. There's a free course called Your Magical Creative Awareness that you can join for free and go through the entire acrylic painting process with me, talking about symbols. So I mentioned I'm working with the Taurus symbol this year, which has been really helpful. I've been sinking my Taurus down into the earth and sourcing energy from Gaia, Pachamama, because we are just as much a part of her nature as anything, right? Okay, yeah, we like these portals. Okay, so let's see. The other one I did love, I put a lot of purple, so I'm going to start leaving these. I also love about leaves and flowers. Hi, Sheila Sweet. That they allow for unlimited variations in colors. So I kind of adjusted my outline here as I went. Do you think we're going to have to pivot at all in the next handful of months and years, right? It's like, oh, thought it was going to go one way, didn't. So we just focus on what we want. Focus on what we want. So I'm going into the negative space here. I really like, well, okay, I shouldn't use the word like. I freaking love the orange pink outline. So I'm just going in with some white so I can see that more. And I'm painting over maybe a little of that outline, but not all of it because I want it showing through. And the mind's eye is unconscious, like it doesn't follow your rules. It either feels like, oh my gosh, I can't see what's going on here. So this can help. Okay. So we're painting with acrylics. I'm just demonstrating this. And then in 5 minutes, we're going to the Yupo paper. Does anyone know Yupo paper? Oh, okay. Gail's got the Spheres of Wellness. So Spheres of Wellness is referencing my my book, 30 Days to Unstoppable, which is super timely right now. So I'm going to start this other leaf. This leaf it's not going to look exactly like the leaf that inspired it, but that's okay. I'm sure in the jungle there is a leaf that looks like this somewhere. Okay. When it comes down to it, right? The jungle, it's just all these overlapping leaves and colors. Oop. So Matangi, her animal is a parrot. So I'm definitely going to be painting a parrot on here. Probably not in this live stream, but because we're not quite to parrot time yet. I think parrot. So I have an owl on my shoulder, right? And Matangi has a parrot. Okay. Oh my gosh, this pink, you guys. Ah. Okay, so then I started to do another one here, but let's see. We'll just do it. What else is everybody else painting? Oh, hello from Spain. Oh, hi, Isabel. Okay, yes. Alcohol inks. Yes, so I don't think I have, all right, I might have them buried somewhere, but I don't have, I didn't have alcohol inks super accessible, and I was trying to figure out how to keep this as variedied and as simple as possible today. So I did not get out the alcohol inks, but the Yupo paper really does create quite a variety, like a beautiful surface. Hi, everybody. Okay, do you all have music going? I wish I could have music going. My favorite radio right now on Spotify is Dea Dova. If any of you know Dea Dova, type it in the chat for me, DEYADOVA. See Your Soul Studio with Dottie. Hey, Dottie. I'm working on a painting I started a while ago, Sacred Spirit Animal, the Lioness. Ooh. You're watching on your TV. Fun. So I'm on your TV. Okay, I want to add some purple, some of this like lavender like I did on this leaf here. This leaf. Because we love purple as well, right? So we're going to put, oh yeah. It's going to kind of create these leaves have the little veins in the middle, right? So this is going to help to emphasize this. what else? The other thing we learn from this process, right, is that there is really no right or wrong. There's just information. So perhaps we can look at things from that perspective as well. That everything can be used. And in fact, what do we know? That we learn best through contrast. So perhaps the current climate, at least in the news headlines and things, is providing us with an amazing opportunity to accelerate our creative mastery. More so than if we were currently being lulled into some sense of everything is a-okay, right? I am always so grateful. So the Great Mother March, if you go to greatmothermarch.com, this is how I'm responding to the days. And it's a huge epic event happening in 2026 that I was literally intuitively given. And when you think about the Great Mother archetype, and many of you are great mothers. I am a great mother. I have amazing children. And I'm always very grateful when they learn a hard lesson in a way that doesn't include physical harm or, right? Like it was a tough lesson. Maybe it's produced some tears, but they're okay, right? My middle daughter and I paraglide together, and I'm always super grateful when she has, I mean, not that I wish it on her, but when she tells me like, "Oh, Mom, I just had a thing. It got a little scary, but I'm fine." Yes, I like that because that is creating wisdom for her and keeping her centered in the truth that there's some real dynamics going on when you're flying through the air, right? So Great Mother wants that for us too, I believe. And so she's encouraging us, don't focus on the chaos. Don't participate in the drama, regardless of, ideologies or where people stand. It's still, we don't want drama, right? So this is an amazing opportunity to learn, to grow, to be the change we want to see in the world, practice what we preach, all the things. All right, we're supposed to move on now. Okay, well, I'm stoked. I have more jungle for Matangi to walk into. So Matangi's going to, I'm going to paint over this. God, it's Matangi. But I'm sure I did this kind of eye level so I could be eye to eye with Matangi. Because her fierceness and her magic and mysticism is going to really support everything. Okay, so I have some leftover acrylic paint. We'll probably use that moving forward. All right, everybody. How is everyone? Hello, if you're just joining. We have 91 people here. So let's take a moment as we switch over. We're going to go to the Yupo paper, which I'm not anticipating that everyone has Yupo paper. You can keep painting on your acrylic paint with canvas, whatever you're currently creating on, or if you want to just watch, that is totally cool. Take a moment. This is Create Peace Day. This is my offering to give us an opportunity to understand that we have a choice as to where we focus our attention and our energy. In fact, we're going to wrap up the last half hour. We're going to draw and paint eyes to really anchor in to the truth of where we send our attention, our intention, our words, our thoughts, ideas is what expands and becomes our reality, right? And we're also going to paint some power words. I don't know if Nadia Munarolo Kuriyata is here, but she is a creatively fit coach, CCFC, creative frequency coach who rocks the words. So we're going to play with words. So let me show you the inspiration for this project. So I did this forever ago, and look, they're still in the laminate. So what happened is I had Yupo paper, and I did something along these lines. And these actually might be acrylic, alcohol inks. And so I did just a sheet like this, and then I cut these up into, hi, Rebecca. Thank you. You're welcome. I cut these up just like this. So we're gonna do this. I cut them up into individual pieces, and then I looked for the pieces that spoke to me of each of the major arcana. So Maggie Caldwell, if you're still here. So in Tarot, the major arcana, if you're not familiar with Tarot, it's a old symbolic system. It's got connections to astrology, to ancient Jewish mysticism, to Christian mysticism, to earth wisdom, the divine feminine. It is a powerful, really powerful oracle system that I love to use when my normal pattern of thought keeps taking me down the same road. I'll pull a card to disrupt that normal pattern of thought. So for example, this card is the Sun, which is the major arcana card number 9. Let's see, here is High Priestess right here. So I went through the random cutouts. So I'll show you. I did this early. I feel like I'm back in my HGTV days. You guys, I used to do HGTV shows only because there was a show that was produced in Nashville when I lived there. And they're like, you are golden, you're local and you don't have a Southern accent. And so they just were always wanting to bring me on, to the point that I was like, you guys, I don't have time to do all your step-by-steps. And they're like, we'll do them for you and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's pretty funny. But so we're cutting these into, I guess I'm just going to cut these in half. So we're going to cut the Yupo, and maybe you have a page in your journal. They don't have to be totally square. And we're going to cut these up, and then at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 Eastern, we're going to go through kind of the major arcana and see what we see in here. And of course, you don't have to do the major arcana, but isn't this so fun to just play and then cut up and then see whatever you see? Maybe they end up being a deck of animal cards or just sacred symbols or anything. But I love the layering, and I love creating kind of these first layers and just having many first layers around in all different mediums to build on and play on. So you can get out, if you're kind of playing along with me, you can get out any kind of paper, something you could cut up would be ideal, or file this away for your next rainy day. Hi, Teresa. Aloha. And this is a super fun activity. Imagine like getting a group of friends together and just playing with the colors on paper and then letting it dry while you chat and then cutting it up, and everybody being like, oh, I see an octopus, or here's a priestess, or here's a chariot, or the magician, and creating your own oracle set. And you can make copies and laminate, and then you all have your own like sisterhood of the traveling oracle deck. So I'm going to demonstrate on the Yupo paper So Yupo paper has, I don't know if you can see, it has kind of a bit of a sheen to it. It's very, very smooth, very smooth. No tooth, zero tooth. So the colors kind of hover and they act differently. So we saw this version of Whitney's doodles. So I'm going to see if I can do something different. And I want to make a note. So when I was doing this morning, I feel like I have crazy eye makeup going on. When I was doing this morning, I was realizing that this was an awesome meditation on contrast. Because when you're cutting these up and you want to see different cards, right? Like Oracle decks don't have 20 of the same image. They have all different images. So if you want to see different images on your pieces of paper, you want to make sure that you are creating a lot of contrast here. And then consciously creating contrast usually leads me, at least, to reflecting on the contrast that's in the external world. How is this art reflecting to me a truth that is happening in the external world? And how just the same contrast creates variety, creates different opportunity, right? And so that is valuable. So I was trying to have a different video camera. Yes, Teresa, I feel like I remember your alcohol ink. So Teresa is also a CCFC. Our next, if you are not a CCFC, a creative frequency coach, certified creative frequency coach, it used to be certified creatively fit coach. The next training is happening, starts March 21st. Very excited. Okay, so I'm using these alcohol or just acrylic inks. I love using these on the canvas as well. I have gold, yellow, 2 shades of blue, fluorescent pink, of course. I've got this brown for contrast. This is like a dark brown that looks black. And I don't know if I'm going to figure out how this opens live on YouTube, but I have an orange and then I have a magenta. I like using a magenta rather than a red for color mixing. I think it makes better purples, better oranges. Yeah, so hi, Patricia. Okay, so I'm going to just tilt my, oh, that's perfect. You guys can see and I can still see the chat. So I'm trying to paint differently than what I just did here, right? So I'm going to put, the brush in my non-dominant hand. And I'm just going to put some color down right now. Sorry, this is water. And you can do this with watercolors. You can do this with acrylics on canvas. You probably want to just get your acrylics a little watery. If you've done my 21-day painting meditation challenge, you know this process. And then let's practice playing with as much chaos as possible, huh? Let's see what happens there. Let's make friends with chaos. So I'm going to scoop this up and I'm raising it high. We could do slow-mo. It'd be super fun. Yoo-hoo. Oh, look, I hit a dry spot. Ah! Oh my gosh. Okay, if this isn't like better than therapy, I don't know what. Okay. That makes me really happy. Hi, Mama Kate. Okay, let's see. Should we go brown? I don't normally do that right away. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Woo-hoo. And then what does brown make you think of? The earth, the soil, growth. Oh, I see an eye right there, of course. That's not hard to do. Okay, now we'll go yellow. So I guess I'm starting earthy. So here's another thing that I was playing with. We can kind of do this. Let's see if I am able to make this paper look really different than the other. Okay, I love it. And then, of course, wow, drips. I didn't really do that in the last one. So I did this one early because I had a feeling, well, we'll see if this dries by whatever time it is, 10, so an hour and 15 minutes, it might dry. So if you are going to do this with me, maybe, oh, we got to go for the pink, right? Pretty soon, I'm not going to drip any more water because I want to see, ooh, just little dots of pink. So I'm sure on YouTube, right, there are lots of like tutorials, how to. What I feel most passionate about right now, and what I think is actually most valuable for us as earthlings on this planet, is to begin or nurture your creative practice in such a way that you are in love with whatever it is you're creating, doing, expressing, as opposed to going straight to learning technique, like how to make shadows and illumination and, you know, whatever, just because there's an element that I have observed in this, oops, I'm supposed to be using my left hand, in this creative practice that when people start, which my favorite is when I get to paint with people that this is their first time back into paints and color, maybe since they were little or since they had children. And there's an element always of wanting to kind of protect ourselves. You know, we want to make sure if we're going to create something that it's going to look good and other people are going to like it. And that inherently is not resonant with what your creative spirit wants to offer. Your creative spirit wants you to be completely you. And so what I'm recommending is that you get back to that like childhood frequency where you were always excited, or maybe you can think of a child who like, look what I did, right? There wasn't like, did I do it right? What do you think? I don't want to share it with you because maybe you won't like it. And then you get to a point where it's like, I want to learn, how to paint eyes that really look like eyes. And you're doing it not out of fear, you're doing it out of love. Okay, Cindy, I do this a lot to get over the fear of the blank canvas. Yes, yes, yes. Sheila, I've worked so much on technique that I don't even know what my style is. So I've committed to just playing this year. So I find me. Yes, 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 Sheila, exactly. So it's not that learning technique from other people is bad or wrong. It's just that I do believe that the reason you are attracted to the colors and to painting or drawing or whatever form your art expression is taking you is so that you can create the art that is your life in a way that lights you up. So you can learn how you want to do more you, right? Okay. Is this allowed? And I'm just going to dip right into the, of course it's allowed. If it comes to my mind, it is allowed. Ooh. Okay, I'm just going to try not to get the whole jar muddy. Okay, this is one of my shapes now for a while. It's a rainbow shape, which I love because it makes me think of how rainbows come after storms, and they come as a result of contrast. The clouds and the rain and the sunlight dancing together make rainbows. Rainbows don't happen on beautiful, sunny, perfect days, right? I wish we had a magic like ding, and now it's dry. So what's a life art truth that you've experienced lately, or even are experiencing just being here right now, whether you're creating or just absorbing what we're doing here? So I'm attempting to spread out some of the wet here so that maybe it will dry. Oh. So if you've just joined us, thank you. This is Create Peace Day. We are reminding ourselves that we have a choice where we send our attention. And I mentioned in the very beginning that a real message that I got this morning that is like, if you leave with nothing else, is to remember that whatever gets you the most, or just that the role of anger, the role of fear, is to steer you towards where you're meant to focus your attention, right? You're not intended to stay angry without taking some sort of creative action. So I'm kind of using that as a filter for myself. Like, I get the staying informed thing, but you can stay informed pretty quickly without having to spend a lot of time in the muck. And if I'm not going to do something about it, then I'm not going to spend my precious prana, life force energy focusing on it. I'm going to focus on how I can and am being the change. Which, if you go to greatmothermarch.com, that is how I'm doing. Great Mother March has given me a pass on having to watch the news, as far as I'm concerned. Hey, so look at this. Oh, I can't turn it upside down, but do you see this little lady here? So it's like, this is her bouffant hairdo and her little sassy, she's dancing. Here's an arm up and her hip. So maybe she's one of our part of our lineage back in the when we were bouffant hairdos, the 50s. These ladies who typically, at least in America, maybe didn't go to work, didn't have much accredited to them other than their marriage. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's what it's making me think of. To see yeah, and the link to the Great Mother March, and then it's also just greatmothermarch.com or the Great Mother March, all takes you to the same place. And when these do dry, you can layer over. So let's see if I can channel some of this water down here. So the nature of water. Getty, one of my friends who doesn't understand what I'm doing right now. Ooh, so what does this make you think of, everybody? Channeling the flow and how water follows the path of least resistance, right? So, well, this is leading to different things. So I think all of us want to live purposefully, make a positive difference in the world. And the way that you can do that should be like this natural flow. Like, can you tell what you're, perhaps maybe what you've been always being prepared for? Or if you're like, Whitney, okay, I get it. You're right. I want to be a part of the change. I don't want to focus on what doesn't light me up, but I don't know. How can I make a difference? Just stay open and it will come. The Great Mother March, a lot of you know this, but the Great Mother March was not on my schedule. I was sitting, having my morning cup of hot stuff, thinking about the workshop I'm teaching this March in Asheville, North Carolina. And all of a sudden, I literally heard, so I don't hear audibly, I get thoughts, but when I get these thoughts, they're very clear. Like the thought that caused me to open an art center with no art background back in 96. I got the thought in 95 and it was like, oh, that's what I'm doing. Or like when a chance discussion with a woman who owns a bead store near where I live I told her I was looking for a name and she said, you should be Whitney Freya. And I was like, I am. It was just that clear. So these calls come through as these super tangible, highly formed ideas that feel almost like you can remember them. They feel so familiar. Okay, I'm going to take some of this wet and put it over here on this paper. How about that? So the idea will find you. And this is in 30 Days to Unstoppable. This is like one of the main teachings is creating a frequency, the creative frequency that is the energy that will be readily available to you when you nurture it, so that when you get the idea, when you are given the vision, the passion, the calling, the clarity, you have what you need to say yes. If you're not tapped into your creative spirit, you're probably, even if you're not aware, if you're not tapped into your creative spirit, you're going to be more tapped into your logical linear spirit, because that's kind of the world we live in. And that logical linear spirit is literally physiologically programmed to resist all change because it's there to protect you from the unknown. And it's intended to be, I'd say, perfectly balanced, but maybe like 49-51, more with your heart, with the visionary part of you that can understand intuitively and feel, harness all the senses in your body, not just your mind, to discern whether a dream, an idea, a vision, right? A la Liz Gilbert, ideas looking for hosts. Those ideas are looking for resonance. An idea, any new idea that wants to come through, this is really important. Oof. Any new idea that wants to come through needs your creative spirit. 93 of you. Hi, everybody. Who wants anything different, wants to experience anything new in your life? Say, put a heart in the chat. Put a heart in the chat if you want to experience something new in 2025, something new that lights you up, something new that expands your palette of experience, of wisdom, of compassion, of strength, of self-knowing. Put a heart in the chat if you want anything new to come into the art that is your life this year. Yay! Okay, so for that to come through, it's new. You haven't experienced it up until now, which means you need your creative spirit. You need the part of you that's like, okay, we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got this. We have we have a new blue. Oh my god. Okay. It's almost time to switch our projects. I'm kind of glad I did a schedule though. If you don't have your creative frequency online, the newness is going to be like, okay, let me see if I can act this out. I just got this. The new idea comes into your awareness and then it splats against a hard brick wall. It's like you get that instant excitement and then you're like, can I do it? And your logical mind's like, it's new, it's different, that's not a sure thing. There's any kind of risk. You're not perfect at it already. You're not an expert. Forget about it. If you don't have your creative frequency online, it's like, yay. Is that good? Right? I get just mildly fired up about this still. Okay, I want to demonstrate one more thing. Look at all those hearts. Yes. Yes. This Great Mother March is like this massive new thing for me, you all. It's massive, so new, so different. I can see how I've been prepared. That's important. I can see how I've been prepared. A lot of you, my people, you all are going to be great mothers in the Great Mother March. You can help in some way, shape, or form. You're all over the world. We've been perfectly prepared for this, but it is new and it is scary, which is why I have a big freaking canvas on my wall. The bigger the unknown, the bigger the canvas, the more art supplies are out. Right? Yes. Ugh. Okay, I want to show you this pencil. Yes, thank you, Chris. I want to show you what you do with the pencil on the Yupo with the acrylic ink. So you don't end up actually, you get a little pencil. So let me show you this. You take the pencil, you go into the wet, and you pull it out. And then look how it drags through. Okay, this is, how can I get this even closer? This is something I love. And we can do this with our acrylic paintings. But when you drag your brush through all the colors and then they blend and it changes, it always reminds me of how meeting new people changes us, right? We pick up something new from every person we meet, every conversation, every book, every painting, and they blend and merge together. Oh my God, it's so much fun. Okay, when this dries, there's some super fun. Okay, I'm going to stop. All right, so I got a little bit contrasty. It's a little different, more just in color. And I do think we all kind of make our shapes. It's okay. I've had people tell me like, oh, I keep making the same shapes all the time. And that's okay. What if that was okay? That's your shape. Why is that your shape? Right? What is that shape symbolizing? Yeah. Okay, now we are going to mandalas. Hello, everybody. Hi, Paula. Hi, Kim. Okay, 102 people. Woo, woo, woo. I'm so excited about this. So if you've just joined, this is Create Peace Day. We are getting together and creating and playing with color and focusing on what lights us up to illustrate the fact that in each and every moment, we have the choice where we send our attention and intention and our eyes and our words and our thoughts and our ideas. And we're being offered right now on this planet, I do believe, a masterclass in showing up as an earthling who is in alignment with her creative spirit, owning, I create my reality. I am the sole creator of my experience, which was the inspiration for my second book, Rise Above, Free Your Mind, One Brushstroke at a Time. All of these books have been preparing me, and I turn around and offer, it's just what I do, to all of us, that when the tensions, when the polarities get the most contrasting, the most dramatic, that is when the choice is super obvious. And we can allow whatever gets us angry, whatever gets us fired up, whatever gets us, that is there to inspire clarity as to which direction to send your creative energy, your creative frequency. It's not meant to pull you down into the pit of anger and despair forever. But without awareness, because we live in this highly logically dominant, fear-based world, that's what's going to happen. And the people around you need you all to invite them over and say, hey, help me cover this page with color. Help me doodle. Which color lights you up right now? Let's play with that. You will open them up to a whole new world within them, universes of possibility within them, and help them to develop a sensitivity to the frequencies around them and an awareness of how life is meant to be lived as art with you as the artist, not me, not Rochelle, not Kim, not Anna, not Mason Foray. Hi, Mason Foray. Mason is my son. Hi. Thanks, Mace. You got me emotional. Dark Pepto-Bismol. Well, there's some medicine, right? So we are bringers of universes of possibility. That's what CCFC, Creative Frequency, Creatively Fit Coaches are. And the cool thing is it's not about being this perfect master artist. This is about unlearning, right? Unlearning the creativity, the art that has been presented to us as product, and that some people have talent and some people don't. So I had the art teacher, I can still picture it, right? The art teacher when I was 9, I was standing there holding this abstract canvas that was literally, I can still picture it. It was just the white canvas, and I did like little lines and fields of color. And I stood there, I was all excited about it. And the art teacher says to my mom, Whitney has a great eye for color and balance, but drawing isn't her thing. No, I was 9. So I was like, oh, well, you're the art teacher. So I guess I'm not an artist. And so I went fully into the color. Anything to do with color was completely my jam. And I became a wannabe artist. Huge wannabe. Until 26 when I opened my art center. And when I opened the art center, I had not painted on a canvas since I was 9. Open the doors, May 1st, 1996. I remember thinking, I wonder what I'm going to put on the walls of this art center, which is pretty funny because, of course, I ended up so much on the walls. Because once you own an art center, that logical linear mind is like, well, I guess we own an art center now. Right? So it could no longer tell me that I sucked at art because it was like, logically, you own an art center. So guess we're doing this. And so I just kept going when I used to stop. My first aha, some of you will laugh. You've probably heard this before, but my first aha doing oil pastels on a big pad of paper, because I bought the easel and then I bought a big pad of paper and oil pastels. I was still too scared to buy the paint. This is as I'm opening the art center. And I'm just copying this like impressionist field of poppies onto the paper. And then I just started smudging the colors together. And my first thought, even with oil pastels, was it's all about the layers. It's not about getting things right the first time. It's about keeping on, right? Wow, that's another truth we're learning. Right? My goodness. Okay. So mandalas are a symbol of self. You've heard Carl Jung created a mandala every day for like 30 years, Maggie, you know. And He said he was going to do it until he knew himself. And then apparently one day he's got there 30 years later. We are highly multidimensional. So much to learn about ourselves. Okay. Thank you, Anna Maria Stone. So I am inviting you to create a mandala. So let me show you one of the inspirations. So one of the inspirations is this mandala, which is the same as that, which is the yantra for the goddess Matangi. So we can do that. Let's do that because Matangi energy is also super duper good medicine right now. And so I did this one. I had this first layer going, right? Look familiar? I had this all done. You see my rainbows? I'm still drawing unicorns and rainbows. And then weeks later, I painted this mandala over this first layer. So I highly encourage, get an art journal if you don't have one already. These are moleskin. If you go to whitneyfreya.com and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can share your email and you'll get my favorite supply list, which includes this journal and this big one that I'm going to be using, as well as paints and water-soluble Caran d'Ache. And I don't have these on the supply list, but these are Daler Rowney acrylic inks. So anyway, you can go to whitneyfreya.com. This lovely first layer here is left over from, we just did this in the Whitney Freya Studio group. And we did this to be the base for a mandala. And many of you have already done your mandala over it. I have not. So we're going to do it now. I am going to use this golden high flow acrylic for outlining the mandala because I can use a really nice thin brush, which I have over here, and it'll make a nice little line. So I'm going to do that. Now, if you want to, some of you are doing my Unstoppable Dream course, and you know that it can be fun to kind of have some underlying structure for your mandalas. And so if you'd like to do that, you can just kind of create. Now this ends up being eights, which we love eights. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to kind of draw at least this plus sign. Divide the page into 4. So I have this center point, which underneath here, there's actually some sacred geometry that I tried to do. But wow, like with the compass and everything, following along someone on YouTube, I think. And I got lost and I did not pick it back up again. Okay, so this is clogged. Doesn't even look like I've hardly used this. Maybe it's not open. Look at this brand new paint and I didn't even know. Okay, so these, we got to do this, right? I mean, you cannot skip out on a good circle stamp. Okay. My son just texted me that he woke up with the sun shining in his face. It's going to be a great day. Yay. So sweet. This is the kid who told me at one point, Mom, what you do isn't real. Didn't feel good, but now he gets it. Go Mason. Okay, so to begin, and I'll do this upside down, which it's only, it's Daler Rowney, DALERROWNEY. So the only thing that is not totally symmetrical in this is the center of this mandala is an upside down triangle, which of course is a symbol of the feminine. So I'm going to paint that triangle first in the center. And if you have something circular handy, you can use that, but I'm just freehanding it because I have witnessed myself and a lot of people get kind of frustrated when the mandalas don't end up perfectly symmetrical. And you know what? It's really hard to get them totally symmetrical, and they still look amazing. Hardly any of my mandalas are totally symmetrical. Now, this mandala has 8 lotus petals, which means, let me get back to this, which means we're going to do above and below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So there's one in each of the directions and then one in between. So I'm going to do that first. And I'm just guessing these lotus petals aren't all going to be exactly the same size. So here's the other thing you can do is we can do another circle. And I'm focusing on this distance to try and get it as circular as possible. And this will kind of be a guide as well. So this is a little closer than the rest. That's okay. You also get to practice self-compassion doing this project. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. You are, of course, whatever you are creating on right now is perfect. Or if you want to follow along or come back later, this will be here on the channel. So we're doing a lotus petal on each of the directions. Well, see, so we learn we need to make them smaller. And then in between each one. Which you can kind of adjust as you go. Isn't that just like life? Pivot. Ta-da! 8 lotus petals. And maybe to make this even more visible for you all, I will, now here's, oh, this is a cool trick. Okay, so see how this one is way smaller than this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a thicker black line more on the outside of this one. And then I'm going to make the thicker black line more on the inside of this one. And so inside of this one, outside of this one. Now see, if we stay in the creative mindset rather than in the beating oneself up mindset, we usually get offered a choice that is in alignment with what we want. How about them apples? I mean, it's like everything I needed to know I learned in art class kind of thing, except that maybe not exactly the way art classes are taught right now. Okay, so now you can see those a little bit better. And see, this one goes all the way to the end of the circle and most of the others don't. Well, some of them do. So it's up to you. Since this background is so busy, I'm going to choose to make these shapes a little darker. And then there's always the possibility to thin the lines as we go. Okay, how cool is that? I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so now we do the same thing, 8 lotus petals around this outside. And I can tell already that I could run out of space because, hey, my mandala is bigger than the, can someone type Yupo into the chat, please? Yupo paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another circle, but I'm going to make it skinnier. Let's see what happens. We're going to have some kind of squatter, fatter lotus petals. Nothing wrong with that. So that I leave room the last round of lotus petals is 16. So when I was learning about Matangi, I first learned about Matangi in Bali last year. And I kind of freaked out that I'd never heard about her before. And then she kind of, I left a tab open on my phone for a long time, months and months. And then I ended up in Costa Rica with some of my soul sisters, and Matangi came through. Matangi was like, now. And the woman I was staying with in Costa Rica works with Matangi. So bada boom, bada bing. So that's when I created this. So what I loved is that 8 petals, 8 petals. And my sacred symbol for my life, Freya, is can be drawn by putting 2 figure 8s next to each other. Right? It's the 2 hearts. So that was information for me. These symbols, when you get into the language of symbols, these symbols have messages for you. They will guide you. They will repeat when needed. And they are beautiful things. Now, one of the things I noticed when I did this one, or actually the one on the canvas, is that these points of the petals in the next layer, see how they're lined up with these center points here. So I could go like ding, ding. We love sound effects. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. So now, how easy is that? It builds off each other. This is the sacred geometry. So yeah, so what I'm doing now is this. What I love about this lotus petal shape is, one, they never all end up the same, but it feels like this very Zen thing, this curve coming to a point. And it's like skinny, and then I like to make it thicker. I think that feels maybe perhaps more feminine. And you'll see they all end up slightly different, but that's just how it is in nature, right? And we're each slightly different. Now, I'll also say the first time I did this, I did not calculate the numbers accurately, which just gave me an opportunity to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wait, am I doing? No, this has got to be right. Of course, we know this practice brings us present, and when and if the outside world gets you agitated, you go to your art journal or the canvas, and it will bring you into the present moment. So my mother just texted that she's watching what's going on in DC right now, which of course is classic. Perfect. Love you, Mom. Just saying. Okay, so now we have, wow, the black feels so pleasing to me. Oh, good, Carol. Yes. Everything is here to serve you. Everything is here to love you. I totally believe that. Even Pepto-Bismol color on your painting. I love it. Okay, let me see if there are more comments. Come on. No, I think, is Anita the last comment? I feel like there's more. Okay. Just this deep black on the color makes me happy. It's like bringing order and clarity, which is an interesting dynamic. So a lot of us are doing the Unstoppable Dream mandala that's in my I Am the Unstoppable Dream course, which is on sliding scale right now at WhitneyFreyaStudio.com. And that begins with Metatron's cube, sacred geometry underneath. And some people love starting with the structure and some people don't. Right, Gail? Yeah, totally. And so it's an interesting one to, again, getting to know yourself, self-awareness, and But it's lovely to try. And I actually super love the sacred geometry and the structure. Someone, Antonella Bargione in Italy, Zimbabwe, who's a CCFC, a creatively fit creative frequency coach, she shared a little reel from a Zach Bush conversation with Aubrey Marcus, which I'm starting to listen to on Jay Shetty's podcast because I think I want to hear Jay Shetty's take. But Zach Bush was speaking to how our body and the cells in our body are actually more informed by water. So don't totally quote me yet because I haven't, it's just from the snippet, but it's basically that the water is the carrier of the information in our body. And then it's all about sacred geometry. There's something about sacred geometry. So I'm listening to that podcast, but sacred geometry, I believe it has this resonance and this truth that when you work with sacred geometry, it brings that into you. It brings that energy of resonance and truth to you. There is a video on my YouTube channel here, how to draw the flower of life and how to draw Metatron's cube. So yeah, thank you. So if you click that link that Phantom Me just posted, you'll get to the I Am the Unstoppable Dream course. Okay, so now we have to switch gears. You see what good mental workout this is, to get to the 16. So the 16 has a top, has the 4 directions, but then it has 3 in the middle. So, and let's see, does this line up at all? It kind of lines up with the centers. Dare I do that? 1, 2. It does. Oh my gosh. Okay, so see, like if you, the center of each petal, right at the kind of like the hip, that's where these points are. They're all in the center. Oh my gosh, you guys, I've never noticed that before. But see, when you teach, and see, this one was bigger because it wasn't right in the center. Oh, that makes me so silly happy. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Kathy Little, sacred geometry is frequencies of sound. When you draw the images, you actively engage those frequencies. Yes. So I'm super aware right now. So let's think about this for a second, because we know this to be true, right? Water. We are mostly water, same percentage as the earth. No coincidence there. You all know that all the water that is on our planet came from outer space. It came frozen on asteroids that collided into the earth and then melted and became water. Every single drop of water came on an asteroid. I just learned that this year. 2024 is the year I learned that. Well, last year. So what do we know about water? Masaru Emoto, the secret of water, right? Water responds to frequency, to music, like Kathy's saying, to images. And so your body responds to the music you listen to, the words you listen to. I'm just sorry, but I am really, the news, you want to really monitor your news intake. Mother, if you're ever watching this. Anyway, the colors you put on yourself, the words you speak to yourself. I am so conscious of my self-talk right now, being kind to my body. I feel like the aging thing, so super triggering, right? But aging, like my new favorite mantra is I can do amazing things. I can do amazing things. I feel like that's really good resonance for my body. So painting these symbols, painting what lights you up, painting words of affirmation, painting, creating, speaking to, imagining into these sacred geometries, these truths, these words that are high vibration, love, compassion, courage, alignment, gratitude, presence, the 6 spheres of wellness in 30 days to unstoppable, will make a difference in you biologically, physiologically, neurologically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Okay. Got a little excited there. Okay. The channel with Jay Shetty. So just go to any podcasts and just look up Jay Shetty. Like he has one podcast and you will find it. And then I went on Apple Podcasts and searched Jay Shetty, Zach Bush. And yes, I can do amazing things. We can paint that word. Oh, we're supposed to start words soon. Okay, we got to get this. So I'm going to do these little marks at the halfway point. Oh my God. This makes me so stinking happy. Okay, and then we'll do our last lotus petals. And then we'll have this all ready to go for whenever you want to bring yourself into the present and relax. You have this mandala all ready to go to color in. I love that. This is all about practical magic, ladies. Practical magic. If there are any men here, I would love for you to say hello. We have one amazing man in our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, please join us. If that feels resonant, it's Whitney Freya Studio. If you just search Whitney Freya Studio, I'm sure my doppelganger will be posting the link to the Whitney Freya Studio here shortly. Okay. So I'm not painting the circle around this because, I kind of like it ending like a flower. So these are going to be all different heights probably, but that's okay. Wow, you learn something new every day, every doodle, every sacred geometry. The other thing I love about these, the mandalas and any sacred geometry is that to really create them as symmetrically as possible, you have to focus on the center. What is your center? What is your core truth, priority, whatever right now? Focus on that. Don't focus on the things that are not in alignment with who you are. And if something has you so fired up that you cannot take your focus away from it, then you're meant to be a part of the solution. What are you going to do about it? Which it could be painting a painting that has the words and the vision in it of what you want. Right? So a lot of us can get super fired up about the potential, current and potential acceleration of taking away women's rights around our health and our bodies, which could ripple out into all kinds of things. So if that has you super angry, be a part of the change, which it can start with women rock. I can do amazing things. The divine feminine, Matangi, 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 like anything that is in alignment with the empowered, sovereign, powerful, aligned wisdom of the feminine coming alongside the masculine, the healthy, empowered feminine coming alongside the healthy, empowered masculine. That's what the Great Mother March is all about, right? You can paint that. You can make sure you're being that, showing up fiercely in alignment with love and truth and compassion and insisting on that for yourself. Are you being compassionate to yourself? Are you valuing your feminine superpowers? Do you know your feminine superpowers? Go back into your 22-day Tara painting meditation or sign up for the 22-day Tara painting meditation. Get books on the divine feminine. Awakening Shakti by Sally Kempton. Will someone write down Awakening Shakti by Sally Kempton? Is an amazing book. Get to know your feminine superpowers. In another creative frequency call recently, we did a meditation where we were building our survival kit, our creative survival kit, and we had a shield, and we meditated into, thank you, Mama Kate, meditated into a symbol to put on our shield. And one woman got a sword, and the sword made her a little nervous at first because it felt like the typical association with the sword, like the warrior fighting, killing, attacking, all of that. I said, the feminine The empowered, sovereign, divine feminine carries the sword of truth to cut through the untruth, to cut through the illusion, to defend and protect your heart, just like a great mother would, right, Mama Kate? So, warrior women, be that fierce defender of your heart. What is important to you? What do you love? Defend your space to do what you love, right? So be that for yourself first. Then in your home, if you live with other people, are you showing up as the healthy, empowered, wise, compassionate, strong, fierce, feminine with the people you share your home with? Which doesn't mean beating them over the head and dragging them into your cave. It means illuminating that which is loving, compassionate, courageous, in alignment, gratitude, and presence. Are you being that in your community, at your work? Listen, I am speaking as someone who has spent a lot of time muting and editing because I didn't think the masculine around me wanted to hear it. And I was like, I don't want to deal with the masculine that can't handle it. But you know what? If I don't do it, who is? So this is part of my ongoing work in my life, more in my personal relationships, of exerting and standing strong in that divine feminine space, as well as the fact that a huge part of my journey has been taking back my own healthy masculine, right? Yes, Shannon, piercing the veil of illusion. Aho. Hi, Sandra. I love it. Ancient River, Shannon, Ancient River. Yes. So anyway, we have to be the change we want to see in the world. That's first and foremost, and we can all do that. And then if you're like, but I want to be a bigger part of the change, go to greatmothermarch.com, pay $13, enter into the portal and help support, spread the word, reach out to Jay Shetty. Let's get Great Mother March on the podcast, right? Be a part of that. Show up. We are marching, ladies and men. We are marching starting International Women's Day, March 8th, 2026, from Asheville, North Carolina, magical, magical land and people, to the US Capitol. 32 days, almost 500 miles. It's about the same as the Camino de Santiago in northern Spain. Some people are going to join just for a day. Maybe they're going to join us in Asheville and march to the Virginia border. Or maybe you're going to join us in Charlottesville and march to DC. Or maybe you're going to meet us in DC as we cross the bridge. I'm thinking flash mob, whoop, whoop, as we cross the bridge, enter into DC. And then we are going to declare that the Great Mother is here and watching, and provide a visual as well as a call to women to embody the Great Mother wherever they are. And who knows what else is going to happen. Okay, with that, this is perfect. Now we're on our creative prompt of, yes, Karen. Hi, Karen. Hi, Colleen. We're going to do the prompt of words. Just painting words. So words have frequency. So you could do this on, so I just found these in I have so much stuff everywhere, right? This is in my office closet. My linen closet is my office, like where the printer is and stuff. And so I had these already cut out. The Yupo paper, we're going to get back to with the kind of oracle card thing. It's almost dry, look. But this is the kind of thing you could cut up. Or you could take paint all over me. You could take blank paper and do this as well. So whatever you want to do. I happen to have acrylic paints still left here from painting on this at the beginning of our live. And so I'm going to use some of this acrylic paint. So what are words that we want to bathe ourselves in the frequency of the word? Now, actually, we're going to start with I am. And this is why. This I am statement gets thrown around a lot, right? Okay, this was my my Matangi study. That feels a little distracting. So let me bring kind of a little blank canvas. What I've come to understand I am is offering, we might as well start with fluorescent pink, right? Is insight and an activation into the true nature of your creative spirit, your creative frequency. So I am means I am whatever I say I am. Well, except I need to make it smaller. Okay, that's all right. I am, oh, sorry, M. Okay. Now watch, I can do amazing things. Can you do amazing things? I can do amazing things. Watch this. No, no. Okay, that was amazing. So I do this all the time, y'all. I say really silly, goofy things to myself. Like, look at me. I'm so good at that. I'm really good at getting my paints wet again. Okay, so now I have more information, don't I? So that quote unquote mistake I made just clarified that I'm choosing to make my A not quite so big. And frankly, doesn't that look even better? So I'm going to let that dry. I am safe. So I've got these little things. So yes, paint. Now these words, maybe you have little cards like this, or you're tearing up some little cards. I also found these. Oh, look, these have quotes written on the back. Okay, wow. So we're just going to see what this says, because this is a sign. Your soul can be filled with those around you, and you can feel supported and loved. Someone wrote this in something I taught a while ago. I would say your soul is filled with those around you, and you are supported and loved, right? So when we're doing these words, can be is perpetrating you in a state of not yet being that. Okay, so that's why the I am statement, whatever you want to be today, tomorrow, next year, this year, you speak it into the present moment. You are already there. You don't say, I want to be, because I want means perpetrates the energy of wanting, right? So that's interesting. Okay, so anyway, so you could use papers like this, or maybe you're still painting on an acrylic painting, a canvas, and you can paint any of these words in here that you love. Now, I'm going to give you another fun art supply that Mama Kate introduced me to that is also on my supply list. You can get it at whitneyfreya.com. Once this dries, you don't want to do it when it's still wet. You can use your gravy acrylic markers. So, Katie, I didn't realize there are these dot ones. These are dual tip, whatever. These are the dot ones, not the brush ones. Anyway, so they have brush and dot. Using the gravies over this is going to be really fun. So I'm going to let that dry. Well, it is Create Peace Day, so we better create some peace, right? Okay, so I'm thinking again, what is going to contrast this? So let's look at this life truth in the world we're living in right now. If I want peace to stand out on this paper, would I use green or turquoise blue like I was just using? I want to use something totally different. Okay, this is why fluorescent pink is so powerful right now, because it pretty much contrasts most things. Right? So I'm going to want to pick a color to contrast so that it shows. So if all of us here, I know 94 of us, are more inspired by love than fear. We are more inspired to bring light into the world than darkness, right? So for us to do that more powerfully, to be seen, ladies, it's okay to be seen. We're going to be seen more clearly when we're surrounded by dark, by contrast. Not that we would call any darkness in, but it's a fact. And so when you do shine your light, when you bring that contrast, it will be noticed by more people, which means it gives them permission, and it's the ripple effect. Hi, Holly. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a new brush because I'm sure I'm gonna go back to that turquoise, and I'm gonna mix an orange with the yellow and the fluorescent pink and white. And I'm going to paint the word peace here. I'm not going to do it upside down, so because this PEACE. Oh, okay. We're going to do it long and skinny. So peace, we are creating peace. So think about this, right? This is, again, this is what I'm all about. I am, and you are, if you're joining me in writing, painting the word peace, you are creating peace right now. How easy is that, right? Okay. A, you want to stay nice and skinny. Oh, I think this is going to work well. Wow, I even have an abundance of space for the E. Peace. I just created peace. Wisdom. Oh my gosh, look, Cindy, I saw your word welcome and I thought wisdom. So I guess I want to create wisdom too. Okay. So I've got I am peace. I'm sensing, right? You could have all kinds of these cards. You could have an I am and then like Velcro, like I'm thinking the old felt boards, right? And every day you pick from all your cards and you put up the one you're choosing to be and embody for the day. Yes. Okay. Ooh, look at this one, makes me think of flow. So I'm going to write the word flow. Ooh, expansive, power. Yes, yes, yes. Wisdom. Yes, keep typing your words. Okay, I'm going to do flow here. And I'm just going to keep the same color. Flow. Flow, flow, flow. Flow, what I'm getting Flo wants to share with us right now is that when we are opening up, right? How can I be part of the change? And I talked about how the idea that finds you, well, it was connected to flow when I was channeling the water around my painting, right? But this is just it feels like another facet of that it should not feel at all forced or like it's a heavy lift. Now there may be a big difference between where you are now and where the vision, the dream, the idea that you were just given, that feels really far away and there's a lot of unknown. And so it might feel kind of cloudy or mysterious or make you a little nervous. But it should feel, when you bring yourself into the present and imagine into the fruition, it should feel in flow. And then the next step, what's the very, 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 very next step? Like when I got kind of told that there was women marching from Asheville to the US Capitol. First, I was like, literally, it felt like the wind got knocked out of me. And I kept almost crying, Like when I tapped into the energy of it, it was so big, it brought me to tears. So what that let me know, and all I did at that point was say, I'm open. I'm like, I'm not sure you're really talking to me. Who me? And I'm open. Show me the flow. And it was about 3 weeks later that I committed after watching the energy, the frequency around it. My energy, I have a friend who just decided to invest in a big, stretchy financially trip because she feels like she is meant to get feet on the ground on this continent. And she said she's so excited. She goes, a week ago, it felt far away and like not in the cards. And as soon as I said yes, I have so much energy. I'm like, that is a sign that it is the right choice. So you follow the clues, you open and you keep asking, what's something I can do today to get to know this idea, this calling a little bit better? And you do that. And then the next thing and the next thing. Maybe you share it with someone or you journal or you meditate and you feel into it, you imagine into it. How does it feel? Flow. So flow wants to help guide you. I love how that looks. Okay, ooh, gentle, soft. I am soft. That was an idea to open actually with soft, because this came through in the creative frequency coaching lessons as I've been creating them. One of the first prompts was softness. And I do believe we're being called to be soft, not hard, soft. Like, you hear maybe some current events that are like, make you want to take up kickboxing. But how can we stay soft? Not react. Reacting feels jiggity jaggedy. How can we stay soft? Feel into it. Okay, so that has the potential to get me into kickboxing class, Taibo. And I'm going to stay soft and open and receptive, ladies, the feminine, and see what comes next. Am I meant to be a part of creating some sort of change? Am I meant to write a letter? Am I meant to create a painting that is illustrating what I am for and put it out there? I'm going to stay soft and open. I am soft. I want to create more soft. So I'm going to paint soft. Good thing these are short words on my little cards here. I guess I could just use a smaller brush, but I personally like the words taking up like the whole card, but maybe, it doesn't have to be that way. Clearly, there are no have tos. There really aren't. I mean, I guess we have to drink water, right? At least every 3 days. Have to eat other than that, there are want tos and get tos. Soft. Soft wants some lowercase. Soft is ending with lowercase. That's kind of funny. Starts out capital. I guess the S and the O could be lowercase or uppercase. Deep Truths with Whitney Freya. Soft. Isn't it interesting? You can feel the energy, right? Soft. Peace. I don't have any like really harsh, angry words around. But you can feel the energy, right? You can feel the energy of color. This helps develop your intuitiveness as well. This painting practice, this creative practice. There's a lot around embodiment and somatics right now, right? Because we have so much knowing and wisdom in our bodies. And that's one of the reasons with the creativity, right? We're taking things in our minds, our imaginations. It's probably not really in our minds at all, but it's the words we use. We're getting out of our head, whoosh, into our fingertips, moving our shoulders. All of this, the arms and the shoulders and the hands are all connected to that heart energy. So by taking the ideas down and putting them out on paper and canvas and Yupo, we are engaging the heart. We're moving the ideas and the visions and the desires through our bodies, and that engages more of your knowing, which is your intuition pulls pretty much. I mean, clearly it's pulling a little bit from your experience up until now, but it wants to engage your whole sensory perception superpower. Not exactly proper English, but okay. Now I could even put a little acrylic on here, but for the sake of purposes. So we're moving on. Oh, not yet. We're still on words. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited for oracle cards. Okay. Shannon, I want to express, gratitude, Whitney. Mandala art is allowing me to heal my ancestral line, including my star family. So much love. Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, mandalas are, your daughter keeps giggling at me. Mama Kate's daughter. When am I going to meet you, girl? That must happen. Okay. Wisdom. Wisdom's another good word. What else? Grounded. Yes. Gentle. Ooh, healed. Alignment. So I have declared 2025 to be the year of alignment for all of us. What I love about alignment is the key to getting into more and more alignment is to focus more and more on that which is in alignment, right? So in an extreme example, if all that's in alignment is my bed is super in alignment for going to sleep, my refrigerator is super in alignment for keeping my food fresh, my comb is super in alignment for getting the tangles out of my hair, you start there. You look all around you, more and more examples of enlightenment. Alignment. Okay, sure, enlightenment. Let's do that. Okay, I'm just going to paint some pattern right now on my card. Add another layer. So alignment would be a great word. I would want to choose a different mark making material. And so I'm creating a little background for a word. I love the word I am intuitive. We love intuitiveness, right? I'm playing with color. And I do think there's also an invitation, everybody, to I really pay attention to color. And pay attention to the colors you're attracted to. And get curious. Because just watch. There's going to be some Psychology Today, Scientific America, or when someone is going to come out with some huge new breakthrough around color soon, guaranteed. Just watch. You heard it here first. But color, I do believe, wants to support us right now. The earth, as much time as you can spend outside, right? Do that, please. I know for a lot of us, it's winter, but being cold, has value. I mean, it engages different parts of your body. I feel like it gets everything pumping, which has got to be good for your lymphatic system. I don't know. I'm not a healthcare professional, but moving, getting outside, always good medicine. I think at any point, any question we have, we could look outside our window and Mother Earth would be doing her thing, offering us insight, a new perspective, a new truth. Okay, well, those are making me super happy. So I'm going to do these 2 words. What words am I doing? I'm going to do wisdom. I'm going to do it with the black left over from the, and I'm going to do it differently. Oh, it's a little goofy. Wisdom. Wow. I like that. You know, the truth around, you know, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. It feels like that. Wisdom isn't serious. Wisdom is playful. Wisdom is open to possibility. Okay, one of you had, oh, I am grateful. I am grateful. Okay, let's wrap up this 30 minutes. I'm gonna paint the word grateful with the black again, since that made me so happy. I'm just gonna keep going there. If something makes you happy, yes, please. Okay, so gratitude. I am grateful. Think about something that is causing you worry. Anything that might cause you to worry right now. Just bring it into your awareness just for a teeny tiny second. And then, what do you want? So you're worried that one thing might happen, right? Or maybe there are a couple different options that are worrying. Maybe there are lots of options that are worrying you. Okay, so boop, we know the worry is there. Now, what do you want? How can I do this? What do you want to happen in that situation? Imagine you on the other side of this, whatever's causing you worry, imagine you're on the other side of it, feeling so grateful. I am grateful. Put yourself there. Ooh, the black is cool. I am grateful. I am grateful for all the ways the feminine has come into her power and is now back in her rightful place alongside her beloved masculine. I am grateful for that. So grateful. Put yourself there. And it could get messy along the way. It might get a little, hard to see. And we are choosing gratitude. Anything that happens, there's wisdom there. Think about that. Even when, in that example, there may be things happen that are like contrary to the direction of this, hold on to that feeling grateful for whatever it is you want to transpire. Imagine into the best case scenario, not the worst. Speak to that. Be that. Don't give what you don't want energy. It's okay to not want it, to become aware. I don't want that. And then enough. Now focus on what you do want. I am grateful. Okay, so here's how we play this game. I am grateful. I am wisdom. I am soft. I am peace. I choose to be a source of peace. I am living in flow. I am flow. This energy work. This is the creative frequency. This would be a fun, big, huge piece, right? Massive. At the Great Mother March, ladies, how can we, I was picturing having t-shirts having stencils where you could stencil like I am and then paint. And then we're walking down the road, looking around at everyone. I am wisdom. I am soft. I am grateful. I am abundant. I am sovereign. I am empowered. Think of that. The difference in seeing a huge line of people walking down a road through a town with all of that on their broadcasting to be seen versus I am angry, I am against, boo hoo, right? Like, no, I am. What are you for? Focus on that. Okay, so now we are in our Oracle card half hour. Thank you all for hanging with us. So we are here at Create Peace Day. We are choosing to focus our creative energy and attention on what is possible, what we desire, what lights us up to help us understand the opportunities and the possibilities that are being offered to us in these times, which are highly creative as structures and things shift and break down. Love going out to LA and the fires. Oh my gosh. My friend Marie Mbuni, a lot of you know Marie, posted a beautiful reel on her Instagram today about fire, the element of fire, and the opportunity we have. The fire exists, right? So now the focus is on how will we rise? What is wanting to be transformed? What has been cleared away? Now, clearly homes, and that's very sad on a symbolic level. We can take the hardship and the challenges that people are experiencing and allow it to inform us and help us to rise above whatever fires are in our own lives, whatever destruction. Fires are highly creative. We're living in highly creative times, which perfectly segues into the invitation to create an oracle deck-ish from our doodles. So this is, again, one that I created a while ago. And so I did this kind of thing on the Yupo. And then I cut out the paper. And then I looked for images in the drips and the doodles. And I allowed them to inspire one of the major arcanas, each one. And I just went until I found all of them. So like, here's the Hermit, was the guy hanging upside down, right? Odin hanging upside down. This is Death and Rebirth. This one is the Aeon, the 20, which I'm not, so universe, what number is universe? Here's the Empress, which is the earth goddess, the earth energy. What's this one? Ooh, the Magician. So one of the benefits of nurturing this relationship to symbols is that we're able to look at life more symbolically. Okay, so right now, if you turned on the news or scrolled through most social media threads, maybe you have curated your thread very in alignment with what's important to you. And there is kind of the present moment historical perspective on what's going on in the world. So the invitation is, if you have any kind of doodles, or if you just played with color on a piece of paper earlier with me, now we want to cut it up. And otherwise, the invitation is just to keep creating whatever you're creating and join in the conversation. So, so there is the there is what's going on a factual, logical, linear level. Okay. So and so did this, didn't do this, is blah, blah, blah. Right. The other invitation is to look at life symbolically. On a symbolic level, what's going on? And that is, I believe, a much more creative perspective, and it helps see the bigger picture. And it helps us to understand all the ways we can be the change we want to see in the world right here, right now, within us first. Okay. So, for example, just take the highly unfortunate subject or reality that is war on this planet right now. How are we still fighting, thinking that's going to solve anything? Okay, so the details of the wars, there are plenty of those. He did, she did, they did, all the things. And then there is, on a symbolic level, the energy of war, of conflict, of needs not being met, of communication, miscommunication, so much miscommunication. Okay, so this piece just became bookmarks. I don't know about you, but I always need bookmarks. And this little piece just made me so happy. You see the gold? It feels like kind of like a Cocapelli dancing, doesn't it? So if I, or so many possibilities. What if I took this? I don't have a glue sticker. I have paint. Okay, let's see. Okay, watch. I'm gonna cut out a bigger card for this. And I'm gonna stick this on. See, the creative frequency is just always looking for what else is possible. So I'm gonna, except maybe before maybe I do that, we're going off script, people. I'm gonna take, I still have, sorry, fluorescent pink. Okay, so I'm gonna put just some other colors on there. Again, I'm unteaching you. Oh, look, the Yupo paper scrapes away with the, okay. Gonna do a little blending. Okay, and then I'm gonna take, I have a ton of this blue. So I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna use this like glue. And then I'm gonna stick my Cocapelli dude on here. Can you see? Wow. Duh. Perfect. Oh, shoot. I don't want to get paint on my sheepskin though. Okay. So now I'm going to let this dry and see what that wants to be. And look at how this lined up. Those little, almost looks like another leg. Or they're dance partners. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you, Anita. Right? The bookmarks. Thanks, Chrissy. Okay. Well, we're just that. I'm just going to put that over here on my windowsill. Makes me very happy. All right. So now we're cutting these up. I'm also going to cut some of this one up. And then the beautiful thing is, okay, I'll keep cutting these up. I bet I can cut up 2 at a time. And then we're just going to look and see what we see. Now, I may go through the major arcana. I may not. I don't know. Or you can just see what you see. You might see animals. Maybe you're in kind of an animal frame of mind. They don't all have to be exactly the same shape, of course. I'm going to cut that. And then just these are just little masterpieces. Look at this one. Isn't that fun? I think so. This one is fun too. This has the gold. This reminds me of intuition. You could just do a word for each one. What does it make you feel like? Well, I saw a bird. You see the bird, like the eye and the beak? Okay, bird. Oh, this one's a little different. What do we see? That feels like a birthday party to me. Celebration. I love it. So even this activity, just stimulating the parts of your brain that can take something very abstract. Anyone dealing with abstractness in your life right now? Tree frog. Oh, happy birthday, Gypsy Soul Healing Arts daughter. Oh, I see a tree frog too. Yes, that's the eye and the legs here. Oh, I love that. Bookmarks. Okay. So this thinking symbolically is going to be very good medicine. We want to nurture that part of ourselves, I do believe. I would advise nurturing your ability to look at things symbolically. Some of you who came to the retreat in Joseph met my good friend Nikki Shannon, right? And we used to always joke about this kind of spiritual, intuitive lifestyle. And she'd say, welcome to the land of what does it mean? So funny. She's a funny one. Love her. Look at what this looks like. Okay. Like, wait, this way. This makes me so happy. This. Now, along with regular devotion to your creative practice, you may find yourself engaging in childlike energy. It's a characteristic of people that nurture their creative spirits. What do we know about children? They're like sponges, right? Typical child, poor children anyway, the typical child mindset is not stressed or hypercritical of themselves, right? Your inner child is, when I talk about the inner child, I'm talking about the you, your essence, like who you were before you got taught how to be an earthling. And a lot of us got very different teachings around that, right? I'm going to be creatively brave and cut this favorite part. So your inner child I believe it's the Celtic tradition. I learned this working with an amazing woman, a shaman named Kimberly Arana. Her website is unshakablesoul.com. And she taught me that there is an order of communication, a flow of communication between this rainbow shape just, I just cut through another one. That there's a flow of communication between your higher self your child self and your adult self. So you can imagine the higher self above your crown. Your child self is your pelvis, that root chakra. This is the 3 cauldrons. And it's the teaching the 3 cauldrons, which I think is Celtic. It's from the English-Irish region. So there's the child self, is the cauldron, is your pelvis. And the adult self is like a singing bowl. This is how I pictured it, a singing bowl pointing out. And then your adult or your higher self is a cauldron, a bowl pointing up. Now this is super cool. I could draw this, huh? I'll draw it for you. Oh, I'll get out the gravies. Sorry, we're diverging just for a second because this is clearly coming through. I'm just going to draw this on the back of this. Okay, so this is perfect because it's a long, skinny piece of paper, just like you. Okay, I'm just going to use one color. Oh, I'll use gold, of course. So imagine this is your child self. Okay, like you're sitting here. And then your adult self is here. This is the singing bowl that is sending out vibration into the world, right? And then your higher self, I picture, is this like sacred. I had in my mind, it was like this sacred little golden vessel. Oh, okay. We want a little more room up here. There we go. Okay, so here's the flow of communication. Your higher self, this bowl, this vessel, we'll call it, what's the 3 cauldrons? Okay, we'll call it a cauldron. So this cauldron is filled to overflowing with the truth and divine, loving truth, God, Goddess, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, whatever, okay? Fills up your higher self with all that wisdom and knowledge and truth to the point that it overflows and drips down and is caught in your child self cauldron. Now, this cauldron, oh wow, we got to bring in more colors. I need some reds and oranges. This cauldron, your child self is stoked. Oh geez, let's draw fire. So pretend these are logs. Okay. So this fire here, we got to get red. This is your passion. This is who you are that warms your child self cauldron. Warm, 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 nurturing. You nurture what you love. You nurture your passion. You nurture your truth, who you are. And what that does is heats up all this goodness that's coming down from your higher self, heats it up into steam. And this steam informs your adult self. And then that is what you radiate out and share with the world. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so see, your adult self is what you're radiating, what you're sharing, what people pick up from you when they just stand next to you in the grocery store line. This is your adult self. It's pointing out. It can't catch the overflow from your higher self. But this child self that you were born with, that holds the essence of who you are, that you're nurturing by honoring what you love and what lights you up, informs the adult self, right? Do you see how this flow? So the adult self really only has access to the child self. And the highest self can only access the child self. So this is why the inner child work, and this is why the painting, when it gets you in this childlike energy, wants to inform how you move through the world. And this very product-oriented kind of achievement, externally focused culture keeps us focused on the adulting and the producing and then it wants the facts and the figures and the ROI and the data and all that, which again isn't bad all on its own, or but it's not meant to be on its own. It's meant to be informed by everything. So we've cut ourselves off in general, maybe not this group, right? We understand how to play. We're remembering into more and more every day the value and the power of playing. Thank you, Chris, or Chrissy. But this is the flow. This is how things naturally work. People that are living the most authentically, that have that purest energy frequency coming out of them because they're not trying to be like anybody else, they have to be in touch with their inner child. They have to be nurturing and spending time just doing things because they love it, because it's play, because it's fun, right? So this was kind of fun. So this creative practice, I'm getting, the divine is, this creative practice nurtures. That's what this is, so that it can inform and we can move into the world as adults, is with wisdom and compassion, powerfully radiating our truth, doing it our way. Okay, there you go. It'd be fun for you to do your own little drawing like that. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, oracle cards. Okay, so we have these different cards now. Yeah, thank you, Holly. Okay, so we have all these cards, which again now look a little hard to see with Matangi going on under here. So now the invitation is to look at these and see what they make you think of and turn them into that. So it could be the major arcana, which I don't think I'm going to go into that since we're already, gosh, we're almost to the last half hour already. Let me cut this up right away. So you could use, yeah, okay, it's fine. You could use your micron that are permanent ink, or we could use the gravies, right? So with this one, I did all black over all the color, right? Which I kind of like because it makes it stand out really well. And then, geez, since I've already done that, maybe I'm finally going to cut these up. I think I didn't cut them up because I didn't want to lose them. And this was around when I was moving. So why not use the full palette, right? Look at that goodness. Doesn't that just make us happy? And see what we see. Where'd our froggy go, Mama Kate? Okay. So this one just feels like intuition to me, which there could be an eye there. It just looks so fancy. This looks like an eye. Well, we'll save that for our next half hour's eyes. Eye. Oh, gosh, there's another eye. There are eyes everywhere. What happened to Froggy? Oh, well. So let's just see what this does, what it makes us think of. So this is not unlike, a lot of you know the soul scribble. Look, there's a wing, there's a Pegasus. Let's do that. Okay, I'm going to turn this into a Pegasus. Now, I haven't done too many horse drawings lately. But this, right, feels like the head. So I could do a dot for the eye. Okay. They have ears. And then these wings, oh, I kind of like. So I'm just going to turn this into a Pegasus. Don't love that. That's okay. Ooh, and then I'll do the other wing in blue, the feathers. Kind of reverse it. So just this is a practice in looking at things from a different perspective. And I mean, just that in and of itself kind of communicates horse to me. But so there's one leg. The other leg would be, I don't know, so it's like a hip here, and then maybe they're. So my son, who was on here earlier, oh, look at how it pulled it away. That's kind of cool. He went through a horse phase, and he wanted me to draw him horses all the time. He called them was. But that was a long, long time ago. All right, well. And then the other thing you can do is to make it more visible is to draw paint around the negative space. So orange and blue are opposites. I don't know, that could be something. So I'm just going to kind of do this. There, my winged horse. I want one. Yes, please. Carrying us higher, right? Is this his tail? Could be. We'll let it be the tail. Okay, what are you all, is anyone else have the papers? Are you seeing things? So one archetype that is a thing is coyote. We're talking animals here, so oh, is that orange not working? So coyote in Freya, the Nordic tradition, Loki was kind of the trickster energy. So trickster energy is very present right now, everybody. And trickster energy is there to disrupt the normal. Okay, so here's my Pegasus. I'm not sure if that looks like a tail, but. And then once this dries, oh wait, let's do more of the purple. I'm going to write on the back, whatever. Maybe I'll look up Pegasus symbolism. And even more important is just whatever Pegasus makes me think of. Maybe I'll name my new wing. So I'm going paragliding in Colombia. I leave Friday. Maybe I'll call my new wing Pegasus, even though it's red. So there's my Pegasus. Okay, what else do we see? Yeah, eyes are coming up. Oh, eyes are now. Okay, so this is an invitation to create your own oracle deck from a piece of paper. Another fun way to do that is to, as you paint an acrylic painting, just snap pictures. I like to do the square pictures. Snap square pictures every time there's like a area you really love or a mark or a word you paint into it, and you just snap square photos as you go through the painting process over whatever course of hours, days, weeks, months, years, and then you can upload them. I use makeplaincards.com. Makeplaincards.com. Any of you could type that in, and then you can order a little deck, and it's all from one painting. So I have not created an oracle deck myself yet. I have a lot of respect for the oracle decks, and I feel like I would want to take an entire year and go live somewhere by myself to create an oracle deck, and I haven't had that opportunity yet. And you can create these little mini ones that are super fun. Chrissy, is it better to use the Yupo paper to make our decks? Now, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the Yupo paper. So what I love about the Yupo paper, I'm trying to find a good example. I mean, it just, because it's so smooth and it almost feels like laminated a little bit. It just gets you really different kind of, the color shows up differently. You can use it on watercolor as well. Ooh, maybe I'll show you that. We'll do eyes. We'll do some Yupo eyes. But this is really just because a friend brought over Yupo paper when she was visiting, and we did this, and it happened, and whatever. So you could use watercolor paper. You could use canvas. And then because it was paper, I laminated it. See, look, I have all these I am statements on here. I am letting go and moving forward into a new beginning. So I did these pretty soon after my divorce, actually. What is wanting to die in my life experience right now so I can begin anew? So that was the death rebirth, the devil card. That's funny. I am a creatress of magic when I use and communicate my inherent gifts and talents. How am I being called to trust now? Magician. Oh, this is kind of sweet down memory lane. It was intense those times. Art temperance. I am the union of heaven and earth, known and unknown, creation and potential. What can I merge or synthesize to create something even better? Man, right? We all have some water under the bridge, don't we? That is our feminine wisdom. I love it. So anyway, use whatever you like. The Yupo paper is just fun, right? If you want a new medium to kind of spice up your creative practice or give you something new to play with, I highly recommend. Okay, so final prompt is to draw, paint eyes. Eyes. So I'm going to, what did I say I was going to do on here? Watercolor. Okay. I'm going to use this Yupo paper. You could also use watercolor paper. We could use these. So I happen to have, and this is how I roll often, is like I've got leftover acrylics still from this, the leaves. So I'm going to use that, and I want to demonstrate the watercolors on the Yupo paper as well. And so we're going to do a little mixed media. And I've got, this is watercolor paper. And of course, and then we've been seeing eyes. You know, those look like eyelashes. We've been seeing eyes in the Yupo. So whatever you're doing, painting, drawing, time to paint eyes. And I'll show you, these don't have to be like super realistic eyes. It could be like, I love these kinds of eyes. And when these dry, of course, between the gravies, the micron, the acrylic, there's so many ways. Pencil. What does pencil do if I do? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, that looks jiggity jaggedy now. Okay, that's okay. Wow. It's just a pencil. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that really brought it to life. Okay, so I could also do some, oh, that didn't turn out very nicely. I could do some backgrounds to then draw eyes over. Always about the layers. So you can see the watercolor kind of shows up here-ish, like the acrylic ink. It's just it's just like the difference between using, like the real, what is it? The hot press, cold press watercolor paper. Okay, eyes. Now, the other thing is, now this eye, let's see, we have a Matangi eye underneath here. So I did these eyes, right? More realistic. She's got something on her nose. So there's that. There's always the opportunity to do really realistic. I also kind of love, whoa. Is that dry already? Huh. I'm like dipping it in the fluid black and it's, oh, there we go. I thought so. There are different ways to do eyes. I almost always, before I paint faces, I look up eyes. Okay, we're supposed to be painting eyes, but she wanted to come through. Doodly-doo. And I do also love just the very graphic eyes. And again, let's just see what happens down here. We're painting eyes to remind us to focus on what we want. So this is a little more realistic. In my book, Rise Above, we work with the eye of fearlessness. So the eye of fearlessness, not unlike this eye, but the thing about the eye of fearlessness is that it is the same upside down, right side up. And the reason for that, is that when your eyes are wide open and you're seeing the situation clearly, which means probably taking into account the symbolic nature as well, that I feel like fear does not thrive in this space where you're really looking at things clearly. So a whole painting meditation could be just painting eyes, right? Like, help me to see things. Help me to understand what I can control and what I can't with the serenity prayer. So there's that. Then there's painting eyes over previous paintings. Aww. I almost always have first layers going here. Like this. Could paint some eyes here. Eye pattern. And again, like, there's certainly awesome fun to be had learning how to, that didn't show up very well, did it? Drawing eyes realistically. And what you paint and draw leads to different thoughts and ideas, right? So if you are feeling, if you're feeling frustrated, as Mason used to say, then perhaps a good eye painting session, now that should make you all feel super confident about painting eyes. Just to meditate on, like, okay, what am I seeing? What is true for me in this situation? What is clear in this situation? I am perhaps painting eyes to ask for clarity about next steps. Maybe the eye turns into a mandala. Like what is happening here? What do I know to be true in this situation, and how can I allow that to be the guidance that I follow? Maybe painting eyes just creates a simple 5-10 minutes for you to focus on clarity, on vision, on what you want to see, the direction you want to go. Right? What you paint makes a difference, matters. You get different guidance, insight, depending on what you paint. Right? We know this. So piggybacking off of our previous session of the symbolic nature of life, of any situation, how can you look at things from a different angle, a different perspective? And maybe the eye wants to offer you a yantra, a meditation on that. I would venture to say that you all, anyone here, anyone watching, even in the future, that you are a visionary, that you are someone who has the capability to see, perceive into what is coming. Ooh, that got exciting with that white. I like that. I also want to put a little dot of black right in the middle. Whoa, big dot of black. Okay. So we have extra black. So any of you who have felt like you maybe haven't done so well following the rules or like showing up traditionally, ladies. Maybe you felt kind of like a black sheep in your family or misunderstood. Maybe you were told you were idealistic. Wow, I got that one a lot. All the way into my adulthood. You're so idealistic, which made me feel, I allowed it to make me feel like somehow I wasn't, like I was simple. This is getting exciting, actually. I wasn't as wise or intelligent because I was too idealistic. And then I realized, heck yeah, I am going to hold space for what I know is available to us. I know we could choose and create a world where we are living from a place of possibility and love and respect, of passion and diversity and individuality. And I'm going to continue to be idealistic. I am going to continue to hold space and not collapse into the belief that we as humans are not capable of creating a reality that is more rooted in love than fear. And along those lines, we can choose to look for examples of love. I remember being on a bus in Chile. Not that it matters, but I do love the Chilean, the Hispanic culture. It's expressive and vibrant and loud, much more feels to me as a, born, raised kind of white bread girl that they express more. And I remember driving in the bus, looking out the window and seeing parents walking their children to school. I could look around the bus and see, parents hugging their children and perhaps lovers or boyfriends, girlfriends. And I just remember realizing, like, wow, there actually is so much more love in the world than there is hate. When I look around driving all through, so the important thing about being on the bus is that I could look. I wasn't driving, right? So there was way more love than fear already. So perhaps it is actually more a matter of just what we're focusing on. There are so, like, most of you could all type in the chat, goodness, something you love, something that you're involved in that's positive. Maybe you volunteer, or your children's school teacher does amazing things, or your school or your church, or you're involved in caretaking for parents or a friend, or like all the goodness, all the amazing things that you do. And all the people out there on this planet right now doing incredible, incredible things. If we learned to focus on that, which is another reason not to watch too much news. What if the news came to learn, instead of fear selling, that when they covered some positive stories, that actually increased their ratings. The good thing about living in a consumer society is that money talks, and where we spend our money and where we send our attention makes a difference. They're watching, right? So what you focus on, this is why, oh my gosh, so that is making me so happy. This one made me a little afraid that y'all were going to leave me. Right? Yep. Okay. Susan's working with the elderly. There's so many things to list. I absolutely love it all. Yes. Love painting every morning in fluorescent pink. Oh, Robin, you're the one. You're my fluorescent pink. I've been talking about you. Share more about your fluorescent pink medicine. Robin, I just keep saying how I was on a group call and one woman brought up how she uses fluorescent pink every morning and it gets rid of her pain. And you have made me so stinking happy. Oh, peacock energy. Yeah. Thank you, Christina. Yes. Your charity, your work. Yes, yes, yes. There's so much goodness. There's so much more goodness and there's so much more love than there is fear and badness and evil. And it's just where we send our focus. Okay. That has me super. Wow. 5 more minutes. This went so quickly. Really, I am particularly, sometimes I get curious about how energized I am by where we are right now on this planet. Not because there aren't lots of misalignment, quote unquote, problems, conflicts, wars, all the things. I'm not focusing on those things. But what I know to be true, what I've observed about myself, is that the big changes, I tend not to make big changes that I need to make until I freaking get hit over the head with the cosmic 2x4, 4x4, 8x8, right? Sometimes it's a broken wrist, makes me slow down. Sometimes it's a shaman and other people coming into my life that finally make me create change in my marital status after years and years of knowing. We seem to need the cosmic 2x4 to create change. And I think we're there. Right? So, curate. Be highly discerning about where you focus your energy and your attention. And what I know to be true is there are so many more solutions than there are problems. There is so much more love in the world than there is fear and hate. There is so much more for us to experience. There are so many more ways for each of us, myself included, to share our wisdom and our light. There are so many more ways to express this sense of possibility and creativity and color and light than we have done up until now. There just is. There is. And it doesn't mean we have to do it all tomorrow. But there are a couple things I know to be true. One, life is an inside-out job. We have to be the change we want to see in the world. And if that feels at all far away, paint your words. You go to the canvas, you paint the words, the symbols, the images. If I am sad, confused, scared, I am struggling, I am compassion. And then are you going to continue to focus on that? Would you paint the words, I am afraid, I am confused, I am struggling. Is that what you would go to paint? I mean, I don't think so, right? Most of us would not. You go and create. You go to your art journal, you pull paper out of the recycle bin, reduce, reuse, recycle. You paint, you doodle, you imagine into what you want. I am flow, I am soft, I am grateful. You paint that into your paintings. You carve out time, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, to nurture and align with your creative frequency. One of the things I've learned developing the creative frequency coaching training program, shameless self-promotion, you want to become a creative frequency coach. If you're not one already, like many of you are, like Nancy Zick and Holly Pennington and Susan Kisrick, you want to nurture that creative frequency a little bit every day-ish. And then when you skip a day, opportunity not to beat yourself up, not to be critical of yourself. You nurture the energy of possibility, your luminous cocoon, your torus of energy that you are. You grow and you grow by feeding it and expanding it with the energy that lights you up. And then you move through the world with your creative frequency, illuminating possibility and what ifs and connection and interconnection. The truth that we are one organism on this planet. Earthlings, people, two-leggeds, four-leggeds, the feathered ones, the trees, the rocks, the rivers, the streams, the mountains, the fields, the ground, the earth, the minerals, the roots, the mycelium. Thank Goddess for the mycelium. We are completely interconnected. We are interdependent, which can make things challenging. And it can also give each one of us a deep, deep knowing that what we do and what you do matters. It makes a difference. It does. Okay, everyone. Go forth and create peace. And thank you for being here. Martin Luther King Day. We didn't even talk about freedom and liberation. I am free. I am liberated. You are creative. I am creative. Go be that. Love you all so much. Love, love, love you. Bye. Bye sounds kind of, ciao, arrivederci, ciao bella. Hasta luego. See you very soon. Sending you so much love.